to buy? What are you going to make? What are you going to commission? What are you going to find out of your closet? What are you going to find out of Goodwill? What are you going to upcycle? Like, there are so many decisions to make. And I think it's really fun because it gives you an opportunity to try out a lot of different methods, especially on your first costume. If you think you might want to make something, but you're not totally confident making a certain component of the costume, then you can do that. Like, I'm a terrible sculptor. I do not sculpt. I know this about myself. I'm not going to force myself through it. So on the left side, it's kind of small. I'm sorry, you can't really tell. But I'm wearing a crown. I can't sculpt. I have a friend who does amazing sculpting work. So I commissioned the crown from her. And I was like, look, here's like 45 reference pictures. I like these components from this set of reference pictures. I like those components from that set of reference pictures. Make it up. You know,
and it turned out gorgeous.
It's a great piece, and I love what it adds to the costume. And I know I never would have been able to do something as beautiful. I also borrowed something for that costume, the little cat that's on the ground next to my feet. That's from the anime. I had a friend who had the stuffed cat from the anime, so I was like, can I please borrow?
You don't always have to spend a ton of money to get the look and the results that you want. But again, it just takes planning and forethought and figuring out where you're going to get all these little pieces from so that you have the overall look you're going for.
I actually got into sewing because of cosplay. Sewing has been, as I've discovered over the years, sewing has been in my family for a very long time. It skipped my mother's generation. My mother pretty much knows how to sew Philippines, and that's about it. So I got into sewing because of cosplay, and I started realizing like, oh, I can fix my own clothes. I can make. I make most of my own clothes at this point. It's been really neat because I've been able to bond with the women in my history because I actually use my great-grandmother's sewing table as my sewing table. I have my great-grandmother's and my great-grandmother's sewing machines. And my grandmother, who used to make quilts, has a couple of unfinished quilts that I'm finishing for her.
My aunt has one,
So why did you start cosplay?
I'm a big theater nerd, and so the fact that I can go out and make my own costumes and sew things and become these characters, it's just fun, and I've really discovered a much deeper love of sewing and crafting and finding out the mechanics behind things. Apparently my now husband is the catalyst for all of this. When we went to our first convention together, he goes, you know they dress up with these things, right? Like, you just told a theater nerd that they could dress up. Done. And so that's when I made Mystique. That I needed to have done the dry run for. But I mean, I didn't let any of that discourage me. My feet hurt so bad. I had blisters. I couldn't stand up
She
for
had
more than
blisters on
5
her
minutes.
knees from the zipper from the shoes.
My costume got ruined because some of the latex coloring got on it. My face was sagging like Mystique was showing her age. The latex was it was sagging under the armpits. I looked miserable in some of those photos, but you know what? I didn't let it get to me because overall, the experience that I had was fun. And walking into a convention, people going, oh, that's really cool. Can I get your picture? Because they love the character. That's what does it for me. It's the performing element that's added to it. It's just really, it's something that lights a fire in you. Like, it sparks you to do more. And so it's just, that's what got me doing it.
I love when I'm wearing Harley and somebody's like, hey, where's Mr. J? And then I get to be like, you know, I saw Mr. J, but he went and ran away from me. Have you seen Mr. J running around here? You know, like, that's really fun.
You're so fucking cute. I had stuffed animals, and my grandmother, while she was babysitting me during the day, taught me how to hand sew little dresses for the dolls, and my mom looked at that and went, oh, okay, so you like sewing, so she got me a sewing machine, and she taught me a little bit. She used to sew close to me all the time when I was in elementary school, and then moving on into college and doing theater stuff, one of the classes that I was required to take was actually costume construction, so I got to learn the finer points of sewing, and at that point just really decided that I wanted to make some more out of it other than just the occasional hobby piece. Oh, Lord of mercy, Fluttershy. So Fluttershy was kind of one of those 24-hour costumes where I went, ooh, I really want to do this.
6 hours.
Oh, Lord. I had the wig already from a previous costume, so that was something that I was able to reuse and not have to worry about spending money on. The tank top and the jacket was something that I had as well, so I didn't have to worry about that. The shoes were $5 from Walmart, which, by the way, Walmart, great t-shirts. I'm going to plug them all day.
She has a Batman t-shirt.
I do. So exciting. And then the skirt was Walmart fabric. I went into their section, not every Walmart has it, and I found a skirt pattern in my repertoire of things that I tend to hoard and squirrel away for a rainy day. I went, okay, what can I do? And I spent maybe about $10 on fabric and whipped up a skirt that was pretty easy. And so it was a really inexpensive costume because I didn't have to do a lot for it, but it wasn't something that I necessarily had to make every last piece for. It's finding the things that work and making it work for what you want.
I think you're also, yeah, she's holding one of my stuffed
Oh
animals.
yeah, and her little ducky. I'm holding her duck because Fluttershy is all about her animal love.
Stuffed animals make surprisingly fabulous props.
Yes, they do. And they also hide your purse/wallet thing so that when you're taking photos, you don't have to set it down consistently. I think we both take on commissions, and more so than myself. I'm just starting. But being able to use your ability to sew things that you might not necessarily want to wear for yourself, but that somebody else is going to be able to appreciate and enjoy. I just did a classic Lieutenant Uhura from the original Star Trek series for a friend of mine who wore it for a convention and absolutely loved it. And so being able to see that for her, I did charge her for time and labor. There are some people who really do make a business out of this. For me, it's more so a little bit of pocket cash, but it'd be cool to have a business.
I wouldn't want to turn it into a business because I enjoy doing it so much. I have done commissions. I actually recently did an Elizabeth Swann commission. I've always wanted to make an Elizabeth Swann costume, but not because I like the character, but because I thought it would be a fun challenge. And now that I've made the costume, I'm like, all right, bucket list check. For me, yeah, it's like a little bit of extra cash. Bills are coming in, and it's a little more than I can handle. It's nice to be able to be like, hey, anybody need something? I was invited by my really cool friend Rob to go with him and his, at the time, fiance to a comic convention in Philadelphia.
Really?
And I was like, they dress up at, I haven't told her this, they dress up at Comic Cons, and like, I really love Harley Quinn, and like, I really want to get closer to Rob's fiance, and like, maybe if I dress up, we can like be buddies about it or something. So I did.